So we've got some new layoffs over at PlayStation. Obviously, this is sad news as nobody wants to lose their job, especially when they're very passionate about it and they work all their lives to get into these fields. But I want to cover these two layoffs that have happened over at PlayStation, and we're going to further discuss what could be happening here, especially with some of the titles they are associated with. Now, quickly, before we jump into this, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, show your support, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep the community informed. Now let's talk about these two layoffs, one coming from Daniel Bellemare, who says, unfortunately, following a wave of layoffs last week was my last at PlayStation. While this is certainly not news I was hoping for, I'm grateful to have had a chance to work amongst extremely talented colleagues on incredible projects, and I'm leaving with good memories of my time there. Now, Daniel, he did have years of experience over at Ubisoft, and he's also worked for PlayStation, worked on Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Assassin's Creed, and some unannounced titles. This specific one in question, I believe, is an unannounced title as well, and he worked for them for about 6 months. So this came about 3 days ago over on LinkedIn. And of course, naturally, we are going to see layoffs. I mean, the industry is seeing it like industry-wide. We had it with Epic Games, who is arguably one of the most lucrative publishers out there. So why wouldn't it happen to other places as well? So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, we are getting layoffs. It is interesting to see where these things are going right now in terms of like where these layoffs are coming from, as we'll explore that more with the next layoff that we're going to discuss. And that next layoff is coming from Matt Barney. And I believe Matt worked for them for, I think, about 3 years, 2 to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he posts this about 23 hours ago saying, "Goodbye, PlayStation, Sony Interactive Entertainment. It's been real for the past few months. I knew this layoff wave was coming. I love PlayStation and I always will. I mean, I stayed when I had a chance to leave. So obviously, to the studios that I supported, San Diego Studio with MLB The Show, Firewalk Studios with Concord, Valkyrie Entertainment LLC, PlayStation Studios, XDev, Developer Tools and Technology, etc., etc. I loved every single minute of partnering with you. However, I have learned today that I will unfortunately no longer be your staffing partner." Now, he does go into detail, you know, thanking different people and talking about all these other aspects of everything. But something here, obviously, that I do want to touch on is the fact that he also worked on Firewalk Studios Concord, right? That is a game that I believe is due out this year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to double check just in case. And yeah, it is actually due out this coming year, 2024. And it's a new PvP multiplayer FPS, and it's coming from Firewalk Studios, coming to PS5 and PC. So it's, you know, worked on the project, getting laid off. And it may not be his full-time, like, you know, they have roles that they play and they assist with different studios. So it very well could have been that he was assisting, not that he was full-time on that project, although he was full-time with PlayStation Studios. So there's a lot of stuff here. Like, I mean, you got to think about this. These layoffs are coming and it's terrible what's happening with people losing their jobs. And no matter how you look at it, you know, when you're losing your job, it sucks. That's just the way it goes, right? And I wish nothing but the best for these people, and I hope they land on their feet, finding great jobs. That just goes without saying that that's what I want to see for these people, as, you know, they've worked hard on projects that we love, right? And with these devs that put all their time into creating these games, I always do appreciate their efforts, and I want to see them go on and do what they want to do. So other than that, talking about, you know, the layoffs coming, given that this particular person worked on Concord, I do wonder what's happening with that project, given that it's probably at the wrap up. It's probably nearing completion in terms of, like, if your game's coming out 2024, you're likely pretty close to being done with development. But then again, we haven't seen much else of it, so it's hard to say for sure what could be going on there. But yeah, so layoffs happening all across the board. I don't think that this is necessarily a bad look for PlayStation. I don't think that this is necessarily, you know, specified just to PlayStation, as we know that this is happening with many, many developers. So it should go without saying as well that I don't think it's a criticism on Sony or PlayStation, but rather just kind of the side of the times, right? And the economy and everything that's happening. So it's too bad. And I hope that things start to turn around and we don't see this kind of stuff happening. But I imagine that things aren't over just yet. Not just with PlayStation, but I mean in terms of the games industry and other industries as well, that layoffs are going to continue happening, unfortunately. But I did want to cover this nonetheless because, well, we talk a lot about PlayStation on this channel, and naturally, this is something that I would want to talk about as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all of this. As usual, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the relevant PlayStation and gaming info out there. I always do appreciate your guys' opinions as well, so please be sure to leave your opinions in the comment section below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike the video if you did not enjoy it, and share the video to keep the community informed. I thank you all for watching. Take care.